Welcome back. So we're gonna polish this troll and try to really take it to that next level. So I think the nose could have some shading in it. What I mean by that is we can add some lighting to the nose. Parts of it should be probably a little bit darker, like the nostrils or something. Wait, oops, I was on the wrong layer. Okay, so maybe the nostrils can be a little darker, you know? And then the tip of the nose could be a little bit brighter, like here. However, depending on where we put the brightness, it'll kind of change the shape of it. Let me make that even brighter so that, remember, you reference your little preview there. So I'm looking at the preview, and that actually, I kind of like how bright that is. Let me put that in the ear. Oh, dude, yeah, that's adding a little bit of shading to the ears too. But check it out. So if it's over here, it kind of looks like the nose is really long and pointy, right? However, if we put it here, you know, it kind of looks like it changes the shape a little bit. Or we could just put it on the side of the nose, and then it kind of just looks like the nose, you know, has a big bridge or something like that. And then if we put it near the top of the nose, I don't know, that's just weird. That's just weird. Usually you want to darken right around here with noses, around the right between the eyes. You want to darken it. So let's try to make this lighter, and let's see what it looks like if we darken it up here. Yeah, you see that? It makes that brow look bigger. And if we really want that brow to look like really big, we can even add like a highlight to it. And if we add that might be a lot of highlight, but if we add highlights to it, it really makes it look like those. Oh, look in the camera. Literally, when I pulled my eyes, you can see they got brighter right there. You see, it got brighter. Anyways, so I like to add a lot of details. So the head here, I actually think the whole head should be lightened up. I like to do this giant chunk brighter, kind of like that, almost like, I mean, this guy's bald, so he's got a little reflection up on that thing. And I could reuse colors here. This is my color palette. We got this in the previous video, and it was pretty easy to get those colors. But let's see what it would look like if I just lightened it up. Yeah, I think it looks more natural if I just lighten it up. I like to stick to the same colors, but I don't think most people really care if you have a limited color palette. So I say go for using as many colors as you want. However, remember that if you're animating, the more colors you use, the harder animations are. I don't remember what we were doing here. Were we trying to put cheeks here? I think I'm gonna remove those colors. And then for the eyes, we could use white, or we could use that looks pretty good. Or we could use yellow. And I kind of like yellow, and for my game Dwarf, we were using yellow because we were using white for teeth. So I don't like using white for the eyes if I'm also using white for the teeth. And this character has these giant, almost like tusks. So probably don't want to use white. We could also use red, and red looks like that's an enemy. You know, if you put red eyes on a character, that's gonna look like an enemy. But I can't decide between the red or the yellow. I don't know. In the comment section below, let me know whether you would do yellow or red. I think I'm gonna go with red this time. Maybe not that bright though. Let's try something a little darker. A little darker looks a little more natural. So you know, the other red looked like it almost needed like a glow. I don't necessarily think the eyes need to look like they're glowing. Just for fun, I wanted to see what purple would look like. We could even do purple, dude. Purple or like a dark blue. But the dark blue, it almost looks like it's not alive for some reason, you know? It looks like it could be a helmet or a skull or whatever. I'm gonna go back to the dark red. You see how undecisive I am? When I do pixel art, like, just changing stuff around ends up taking as much time as drawing it in the first place. So I'm really liking this so far. I'm gonna darken it a little bit around the eyes even more. And I like this blue that we had going here. We could even, if you wanted to, we could do like a vein on the head, you know, or something like that. It would probably be lighter than that, but we could use that blue for like extra details. And then for the tusks here, it almost looks like they're not connecting to the mouth. So I think we need these extra pixels right there and there, just so that it really looks like it's coming out of the mouth. And I'm liking how it's looking. The mouth doesn't need to be straight. We could also sort of bend it like this, you know, but because of the teeth right there, it looks a little weird. And then that looks a little goofy now. And I can't move the tooth here because it's touching that tusk, unless I removed that pixel and we did something like this. But I don't think that open mouth looks any better. Let's go back. Let's go back to what we had. However, we could shade it here and here. And if we wanted to, we could also add hair here on the chin. However, this character doesn't have any hair. But just to show you, you know, let's say we had like a mohawk going or something. We could also add a little goatee here. That'd be a pretty good spot for that. Or a beard or whatever. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that for this character. I think the teeth look pretty good. However, maybe they're too big. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to duplicate this layer. And that way, you know, I don't have to Control Z a bunch of times if we decide we don't like how it looks. But I'm trying to see if maybe making the tusks a little bit smaller. And if I made them smaller, I would lighten them a little bit sooner or something like that. And let's see which one's better. That one looks pretty good. That looks kind of natural. Or this one. That one looks, I like the silhouette of it, you know, and having different silhouettes for different characters is really good. However, so that one, wait, oops, what did I mess up? That one, that's the big tusk one. That's the little tusk one. Man, I kind of like this one better with the little tusks. Trolls also aren't necessarily known for having these massive tusks. I'm gonna turn on toggle horizontal symmetry tool, so that way while I'm messing with one of these tooths, I actually think we could move this down. Cool thing about this is, check this out, you can even move things around with the symmetry tool. But the tusks they don't have to even go out, they could go more up or down, you know, kind of like fangs or something like that. If they're down here, it kind of looks like they're coming out of the bottom part of the mouth. Here, they're like right in between. It's like, you know, if we put them here, it looks like they're coming out of the top. They're the top teeth, which is pretty cool. I kind of like that. That's kind of, that's pretty cool. And if we put them here, now that it can't tell, what if I flip them upside down? Edit, transform, where we go? Flip, vertical. So if we flip them vertical, now, no, that there's no. No. I don't like putting them here on the bottom because then I feel like I would have to make the mouth even bigger. But I kind of like the idea of them being all the way up here. And I'm going to quickly change a lot of stuff to make them look good up here. So I think we're going to want to have this under the eye. And I think we're going to want to do something like this. So it does look like it's coming. Wait, what did I mess up? Oh, now that those teeth were difficult to see. Okay, like this. There we go. And then that jaw looks really skinny, and oh man, it's starting to look a little bit like reminds me of like a Oni or something. You know what Oni are? So it says Oni here is a kind of yokai, demon, orc, ogre, or troll in Japanese folklore. But oh man, that one's pretty sick. But this is what I'm talking about. See how there's these top fangs? That's kind of what we did, and they have these like skinny jaws. They have horns too, but then it starts looking very, very demonic. So, ooh, whoa, that one looks magical. We're going more for something a little more like this, I think, a little more ogre ogre-ish. So what we could do is make this chin even pointier like that. And I kind of like that because, and then we could even shade it. That's pretty good. Like we could make it really, really pointy. And the nose doesn't need to be, you know, that big. I think we can shrink the nose a little bit. And that way we can show off the mouth more. And if I shrink it even more, I don't like it being the same distance as the teeth now, because it could get mistaken for teeth, you know? Like if it was that color, now it's teeth. So let me try something. If we made it even smaller, that looks pretty good. However, maybe I would need to move the teeth so that way it looks less like the nose. And then what if I move the bottom teeth more to the outside? No, now it looks like it's missing teeth. There's barely enough space here for all the teeth. But wow, how cool is it that moving one pixel, moving something 1 pixel over changes how it looks so drastically. And having a lot of teeth like that kind of reminds me of Bleach. Remember the demons or whatever in Bleach? And I think I'm just gonna leave the nose like that, and then the highlight for it, oops, I forgot I'm just doing symmetry tool. The highlight for it could just go on one side like this, and I think I'm gonna leave the highlight like that, and that'll just emphasize more that it's protruding and it's not part of the mouth. And then in the mouth, it's actually a really dark purple. However, at the top here, I think we can go all the way black. You might not even be able to tell in the preview. You can't really tell in the preview. However, I do like that it increases the contrast. And then if we want to, I think I can grab this shaded color, go to like halfway of your opacity, and now you should get an in-between color. I think that's actually too bright. There we go, that one's good. And with this, we can add little details, like a little bit of grime and stuff. And I've seen a lot of artists do this where they kind of just like put, you know, dots all over it, kind of like this. And it does, you know, it does make it look a little bit grimy, like it has a little bit of texture to it, this and that. And I think that's fine, but be careful not to get carried away with that and then, you know, make your artwork look too messy. And a good way to make sure it doesn't look too messy is when you are adding those extra little details, what you do is you make them very light, so that way they don't really change the outline or don't look like something really important. Instead, they are barely noticeable, but almost like you could subconsciously see it. And anyway, I'm trying to make this glare on the top of the head a little more prominent. And I think at the very top of the head, we went lighter with the outline in the previous video, but I kind of want to show you, I kind of think we should go even lighter. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to lighten it here. And if you're using opacity, you can actually go over it several times until you get the color that you want. So look, if I keep clicking here, it keeps getting lighter and lighter until it becomes that color. Let me do that, yeah. So now it feels more like it has a transition there. And this part I should probably make even lighter as well. So I'm gonna grab this color, go down here, and then I think this part right here, maybe that whole part. Now that's a lot of gradients. Most of the time you don't need to do that many gradients, and I'm even putting the gradient in the outline. But it really makes it look like the lighting is coming from above. And we can do that in the ear here too. So this technique is really good. I love it. Because you have so little space to work with pixel art, using the outline to do lighting is a really cool little trick that adds more detail to your artwork without taking up more pixels. And I mean, another way to do that would be to not use outlines. However, when I'm drawing, I feel like outlines are just, they're so important for separating objects. And without them, I also use outlines for shading. Like look where I have pure black in this character. You notice that the teeth don't have a black outline, and it really makes them stick out. So when I do outlines, it's almost like I'm doing really harsh shading. And one of my weaknesses when it used to be that I didn't shade enough. A lot of people do very light shading when you should actually be doing harsher shading. And a way to actually increase the harshness of your shading, or to mess with it, or see if it would look better if you increased it, is to go to adjustments, brightness, and contrast. I'm using Aseprite, by the way. There's a link in the description. I get a tiny little kickback if you buy it through there. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm trying to give out more free keys for this program, but the creator of Aseprite was like, bro, you're asking too much. But I'll try to get more keys for you guys. But check this out. If we mess with the contrast here, you can see the low contrast. Let me oh man, I can't zoom in and out during while this filters up, but you can see that it looks way worse with low contrast, and then with high contrast it looks great. But also we don't want the contrast to be too high because the colors start blending together. So I kind of like it where I had it. You know, I think I did a decent job putting we'll just put it back to 0, doing the contrast just how I like it. And if I lower the brightness, it also kind of starts blending the colors together, and then the colors also get blended together if you increase the brightness. So you don't want to use the brightness slider to change the contrast. You want to use the contrast slider. Another way to also do that is to go to Edit, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. And sometimes I find way better hues for the character I'm doing. So we can see this character is kind of gray, and the hue slider won't work well with grays, but because it's not pure gray, remember, you don't want to do pure gray. Always add a tint of something in there, red, blue, or something like that, because this is one of the reasons why you can use the hue slider and it'll work better. Don't just pick like strictly gray with no color in it. Anyway, so look at that. That looks awesome as a different version of the troll. A green one looks pretty cool too. We would need to fix the ears and the nose. The hue filter is also great for choosing a background color for your art. Let's say you did a portrait or anything. Instead of constantly picking different colors, you can quickly slide through and just pick a color that you like. All right, so for the eyes, you see how they're the same color on all around? I think this top part needs to be lighter. And the reason why I'm making it lighter is because it's kind of part of the brow. I don't want it to be the shadow of the brow. I want it to be part of the brow. So I'm gonna lighten this up. Oops, I had the, all right, there we go. And maybe even more here above the eye. And now it looks more like the eyes are really under that brow, and it makes the character look a little bit meaner. And I think that we could even take that color, and if we pulled it across here, or down here, yeah, I like that. That makes the character look even angrier. I think it's too dark though. We need something in between. A color like, I think like that. And I don't have, if I had 3 pixels here, you know, I would have that crease be right in the middle. But since I only have 2 pixels, I'm kind of, what I'm doing is I'm creating that sort of like eyebrow crease in the middle, but I got to pick a left or right side. And maybe actually it should go on the opposite side because the lighting for the nose is on this side, you know? So maybe we should have it, the crease flipped like that. What do you guys think? I don't know if I'm pro enough to know, but it kind of makes sense to me that the shading for the crease would be on this side if the lighting was on that side, you know? I think we did pretty well with this character. I should probably shade the sides of the head so they look like they're going back. And for that, I'm going to do a really simple little trick. I'm going to do a new layer here though. And I'm going to take alpha, the color black, and just an alpha, and I want to darken all of these colors. So what I'm gonna do, maybe not near the top of the head, more here near the side, but what I'm gonna do is just color black and pull and go down. And then I don't think that that's enough, so I'm gonna do one more, and I'm gonna stop one short, and then I'm gonna do one more, stop one short, or is that two? I can't tell, whatever, something like that. And let me just check something out. What if we went really dark here? Nah, that started to blend it too much. But now let's look at the shading before and after. So you see how the face looks more flat here? Now the face looks a little bit rounder, and that the top of the head now is different from the sides of the head. It's clear now that it has that more of that lighting. Also, by darkening up the sides, it kind of blended that blue color more into the character, which I think looks really really good. We could also have done, I'm gonna make a new layer for this. We could have also done blue ears, and that would make them look even meaner. I like that actually a lot, but I'm just gonna leave them the same color as the nose because I like that color consistency. I like that. I like to reuse a color a couple times in a piece of art, and then this blue here, there's purple in the mouth, so those two complement each other pretty well. Okay, so I think we're practically done with this. However, I'm gonna show you a cool little thing you could do if you wanted the eyes to glow. So I clicked on the gradient tool here. It's near the paint bucket tool, and I chose the circle. And there's different, options for it, whatever. I'm not gonna teach you all the tools right now, but if you drag, it creates this gradient circle, and if you hold shift, then it tries to make sure that it's not skewed. I don't know if you can see how it can get skewed or whatever. But what we could do is drag this over the eyes, like a circle like this or something. If you wanted the eyes to look like they're glowing. Let me grab all this though and put it in the right spot. Okay, so I don't know, maybe something like that. And then I think I'm gonna erase some of it. I don't like the glowing eyes because this pixel art's too tiny for it, but you could make a lot of stuff look like it's glowing this way. So I grabbed the eraser and I'm gonna put the opacity down a little bit because I'm just gonna try to soften it in a couple spots. So for example, I'm gonna soften it a little bit up here, and then on the nose, I'm gonna get rid of some of that glow on the nose, and then maybe even get rid of some of that glow above the eyes here, and a little bit here and here. I'm gonna get rid of it right around the pupil, just to make the pupil stand out. And I think you guys kind of get the technique, right? It's easier to do when the piece of artwork is larger. This is like really tiny, but you can do a pretty cool looking glow. I removed some of them around the eye because I don't want the glow to take away from the pupil. I'm kind of starting a ring around the eye that then continues doing the glare. And then we could even erase it here, where you see how it's like sticking off of the artwork, some of the glow that we did. So all this could get erased, or it should probably just get deleted, I could just go here and delete this since it's on another layer. Definitely want to keep this on another layer because it could mess up all of your colors. But now you can see it looks like the eyes are glowing. Whoa, it actually does look pretty cool with them glowing. That would look pretty cool animated too, if you had the eyes glow before an attack or whatever. I think that came out pretty good. With pixel art, you never really know what it's going to turn out like. Sometimes you're like, wow, I'm amazing, and sometimes it sucks. But don't be harsh on yourself. With pixel art, you never really know what the end result's going to look like exactly, I'll see you guys next week. A devlive. Hey guys, thanks for being fans. I just wanted to point out that currently you can nominate Dwarf for an award. It doesn't cost you nothing. And I'd be very grateful if you took a sec to do that for me. Love you. Peace.